And then Andy he always called Don Jesse.
Yeah.
And he would say, Jesse, we're short!
For most of his life, Ron Howard looked untouchable. The red-haired kid America grew up with, who turned himself into one of the greatest directors Hollywood has ever seen. But in a recent interview, Ron revealed something that stopped fans cold. A truth he says he hid for more than 4 decades. Something that nearly ended his career, his marriage, and even his connection to his own children. And for the first time, he admitted that the life everyone thought he had was never the life he actually lived. Ron Howard was born into a world where childhood simply didn't exist. Before he could talk, he was memorizing lines. Before he could ride a bike, he was hitting marks on sound stages in California. By age 3, he had already worked with actors older than his grandparents. On set, he was everyone's little brother. At home, he was the family's hope. And he carried that weight even when he didn't understand what it meant. He says he remembers watching other kids playing in the street through the window of his school trailer. He watched dirt, grass, chalk, scraped knees, and freedom, while he was inside learning math from a set tutor who would look at her watch every 10 minutes to move him back to filming. Whatever normal childhood meant, it was something he only saw from a distance. People always assumed he loved acting. They thought the Andy Griffith set was a dream playground. But Ron said the truth was different. He didn't love acting. He just didn't know he was allowed to say no. He was too young, too polite, too aware that his father's entire career, their entire family income, depended on him getting every line right. He smiled because it kept everyone calm. He kept working because he thought that was what little boys did. But the pressure began breaking through when he reached 12 years old. The studio chose his school hours. The network controlled his haircut. Fans stopped him in grocery stores and asked him to be Opie with a smile. He grew up not knowing where Opie ended and Ron began. Later, he admitted that in the quiet moments of those years, he would lie in bed and panic that if he stopped acting, his family might lose their home. The moment that changed everything happened at 15. Ron was filming a scene where Opie had to cry, and he couldn't. The tears wouldn't come. He was exhausted from balancing school, filming, and puberty hitting him harder than the camera wanted. After 10 failed takes, the producer snapped at him. "You've done this before. What's wrong with you?" Ron walked off set shaking. He told his mother he didn't want to act anymore. He'd never said anything like that. Jean sat him down and said the one sentence that changed him forever. "If you want to direct one day, don't quit now." And with that, he kept going, even though his heart wasn't in it. By the time Happy Days came around, Ron felt trapped inside a character he no longer recognized. Fans adored Richie Cunningham. Studios adored the ratings. But Ron felt like he was aging on screen while locked inside a teenage role that didn't grow with him. He once said the hardest years of his life were the ones when everyone told him he should be grateful. Behind the gentle smile, Ron battled a fear that almost no one knew about. Throughout his 20s, he struggled with anxiety so severe that he sometimes felt like he couldn't breathe before stepping on set. He thought people would laugh if they knew the truth. He thought directors didn't get to have panic attacks. He hid it so well that even his castmates had no idea. The breaking point came in 1981. Ron was directing a small film while still filming Happy Days. One night, after a 16-hour day, he suddenly collapsed in his trailer. The medic said it was exhaustion. Ron later admitted it was a full panic shutdown. He had been carrying 2 careers on his shoulders, pretending everything was fine, while in his head, he felt like he was constantly drowning. Directing gave him relief, but even that had a cost. In 1985, while filming Cocoon, he missed the birth of his niece. In 1988, during Willow, he missed his father's emergency surgery. He wrote a letter to Rance apologizing, and Rance told him he was just doing what he was meant to do. But Ron said he never forgave himself for not being there. Things got darker in the early 1990s. Imagine Entertainment was collapsing under massive debt. Movies were failing. Investors were pulling out. Brian Grazer was fighting with the board. And Ron? He was breaking down silently. In 1991, while filming Backdraft, he got a phone call that one of his siblings was struggling with addiction. Ron says he hung up the phone and sat on the edge of his bed for 2 hours unable to move. He didn't tell the studio. He didn't tell the cast. He just worked through it, day after day, while his family struggled without him. He revealed in his new interview that the guilt he carried from that year is something he still hasn't shaken. He said he sometimes wonders if he focused too much on saving his movies and not enough on saving the people who needed him. But the moment that almost destroyed him came in 1998 during the editing of EDTV. The test screenings were bad. The budget was spiraling. Investors were nervous. Imagine Entertainment was at risk of collapsing entirely, and Ron felt responsible. One night, after a 20-hour editing session, he threw a chair across the room, something he had never done. He walked into the parking lot, sat in his car, and cried for the first time in years. He said that was the night he realized he didn't know who he was outside of work. That breakdown set him on a new path. Therapy, boundaries, conversations he had avoided for decades. He apologized to his kids for missing so much. He apologized to Nancy for being physically present but emotionally unavailable during entire films. He even apologized to his younger self for pushing through pain he never acknowledged. Ron revealed that his biggest fear today isn't failure or criticism. It's time. Losing more of it. Missing moments he can't get back. Watching friends and family age faster than he expects. He said he feels it every day now. And the final revelation he made, one that shocked even his closest fans, was that after his next film, he may walk away from Hollywood completely. Not because he's tired of creating, but because he doesn't want to lose any more life to the industry that took so much of his own childhood. He said the cameras were kind to him. They made him successful. But they also kept him from being a person first. And at 70, he wants to be Ron before he's a director or actor ever again. For the first time in his life, Ron Howard isn't worried about what comes next. He's just trying to reclaim what he lost along the way. And that honesty is what broke the internet. But the part that stopped everyone cold came at the end of Ron's interview. The moment he was asked a question he wasn't prepared for. A simple one. A human one. What do you wish people understood about you? Ron didn't answer right away. He looked down at his hands. The same hands that held scripts at age 4. The same hands that guided actors for 40 years. The same hands that pushed cameras into places no one else imagined. And for the first time, after a lifetime of smiling for everyone else, his voice shook. He said he wished people knew that being the nice guy came at a cost. That being the kid America loved meant he never learned how to say he was hurting. That every time someone expected him to be perfect, he became a little more invisible. That the world never saw the panic, the regret, the fear, the nights he sat awake wondering if being the good guy meant losing the people he loved most. He said he wished people had known he wasn't always okay. He just didn't want to disappoint anyone. Then he said something no one expected. I'm trying now. I'm trying to let myself be a person. Not a brand. Not a memory. Just me. And as he said it, for one brief moment, Ron Howard didn't look like Opie Taylor or Richie Cunningham, or the Oscar-winning director of A Beautiful Mind. He looked like a man who finally allowed himself to feel everything he had been running from. A man who spent 70 years being strong for everyone else and was only now learning how to be strong for himself. He said he hopes the next chapter of his life isn't about films or awards or premieres. He hopes it's about dinners he didn't rush through, calls he didn't ignore, conversations he didn't cut short because of a 6 a.m. call time. He hopes his kids remember him not for what he made, but for the moments he finally learned how to show up. And then, almost whispering, he admitted the truth that broke millions of hearts. I don't want the last thing my family remembers about me to be that I was always working. For a man who spent his life capturing emotion through a lens, this was the first time he revealed his own. It wasn't a confession. It was a release, the final honest frame in a story that had always looked perfect from the outside. Ron Howard didn't just open up. He let the world see the one thing he had kept hidden his entire life, that even the strongest storytellers sometimes forget to write themselves into their own story. And now, finally, he's trying to change that.